Hey guys, gonna do a little bit of an early Road to General stream today. It's probably not gonna last that long. Thing is that we're gonna be joined by Leland later today to teach you guys how to get into product management. So if you're interested, that will start in just a minute here. I can just get out there.
There's your med kit.
Oh! Great. Let's see. Yeah, in 5 minutes we're gonna start. Just enjoy me trying to take E here on Pearl Market. Fortunately, this AAA server is
Here's your med.
What the hell? What killed me? That's not cool. How did that thing wreck my day? Good lord. Okay. Just a moment. Alright, let's go. What is this thing? People just flying around. What's this thing? Sorry about that, lad.
Pick it up.
Alright. The shotguns in this game seem to be stronger than the ones in Battlefield 1. Okay.
Here's your med kit. Pick it up.
Where did this guy come from? I'm gonna start it right now. It's 2:58 local time here. Just give me a moment. Alright. Alright. Hmm. Okay, this is gonna start any minute now. Let me just lower the volume here a little bit. Okay. Should work just fine.
Grenade! Get it!
Yep. Oh, okay. Oh, I thought that was a friendly car. I'm like not reacting to it at all. My bad.
We'll take you out!
Like in this building over here?
Go, go, go!
Could have started already, but I guess not quite.
There's your med kit. Go get it.
I'm kind of dominating these guys. Oh, this game's over. This game's over. Just noticed the score. Here we go. On Leland.
I'm so
Recording in
excited
progress.
to kick off our product management panel. Really glad to have all of you here. As folks trickle in, go ahead and take a second and sign up for our PM Bootcamp giveaway. We're giving out a free seat in our June cohort of the PM Bootcamp, and we'll talk more about that later today. But excited to take that giveaway. Go ahead and sign up now. But just again, so excited to have all of you here on our Cracking the Code product management panel. We have some fantastic experts today who will help you crack the code and learn the fundamentals that you'll need to know to succeed in the product management recruiting process. Just briefly, some logistics. Number one, feel free to throw questions in the chat. If we have time and our experts are able to, they'll dive in and answer some questions there in the chat. Definitely, of course, be respectful and kind to others. We're all at different points in the journey here. Some of you may already have interviews for PM roles. Others may be even 2 or 3 years out. And for all of you, of course, be supportive, help each other. This is a great community here, and we're glad to have you. And then lastly, be sure to sign up to access the recording. Even if you can't attend the boot camp, it's that link bit.ly/earlypm to sign up for Leland, and we'll send out the recording to you there. So just briefly to introduce myself and our team, and then the most important people on this panel, our experts. I'm on the growth team here at Leland, And we also have our events lead, Amanda, here. She'll be sharing links in the chat and really appreciate her help. But most important, again, are our experts today, and wanted to dive in and start by introducing Anthony. Anthony, please come off mute and give us the quick high level.
Sure. Hey everyone, I'm Anthony. I've been a PM at Meta for about 3 years, currently on Facebook groups, leading our work around anonymous interactions. I've been on a few different teams since joining the company. I was on Instagram Notes for a bit, as well as the company's incubator, new product experimentation. In terms of how I got into product, I'd worked in tech for a bit across business operations and growth, and then went to business school to pivot to product. So that's a bit about me, and I'm based out of New York.
Thanks so much, Anthony, and excited to learn more about your experiences today. Billy.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Billy. I actually started my career in management consulting. So always love talking to people who want to transition into product management. I'm one of them. And then I went to MBA, went to Stanford for my MBA, where I really lean into tech and products. And afterwards, I joined Meta as a PMM. Again, another transition. And then finally, I made my pivot into product there. Since then, I've been working on multiple different products, from B2B to ads to consumer. And I love helping people build the product, focusing on their clarity, structure, and real-world impact. I'm based in Seattle. And I'm over to Matt.
Get that guy for 50?
Hey everyone, my name is Matt.
Wow.
My journey in a nutshell, I studied East at Berkeley, and then my start in product was actually as an APM at Uber right out of college. And then I got laid off there during the pandemic and found my way in Afterpay, one of the buy now, pay later companies. I was there for about 2.5 years, and we got acquired by Block, and I stayed on for a bit. And then in 2023, I went on a year-long sabbatical where I was working on personal creative projects. Did a podcast, wrote a climate tech newsletter, and then last year started my coaching practice. That's what I've been up to mostly for the past few months. And it's interesting, I'm in a therapy training right now as well, and for the context of this panel, I'm actually looking for my next thing as well. So I'm actually actively interviewing for product roles and also non-product roles. So I'm happy to share what I'm observing with my sort of experience on the ground. Good to be here.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Matt. So glad to have you here. And we're also excited to get to know everyone here
Whoa!
outside the panelists. Go ahead and throw in the chat. Where are you? Where are you studying? And would also love to know what your current favorite product is. I'll read out a couple of these here before we move on, just to get it.
Like my current favorite product? You're looking at it, folks. Battlefield 4.
New York.
Best product ever made.
Love to hear it. Everyone else, I'm sure, is typing. This is a test, by the way. Whoever is going to get this out first is the winner. Shraddha, amazing. You won the typing race. We got New York, NBA, UCLA Anderson, Otter.ai, love it. We see Otter all over the place on Zoom. Love that. IU, way cool. Indiana, Lisbon, Michigan. We've got Colorado area, BC, Seattle. We've got folks all over. So
getting noob tubed here.
And to have this community again, folks supporting each other, working together to break into product. Super excited to learn together on this panel. Just to briefly introduce Leland as a whole, we're the one-stop shop to help you succeed in your career, to break into top firms, top schools. And we do that through a few different modalities. One-on-one coaching, of course, with experts like those on the panel today. We also have cohort-based courses and boot camps we're going to present later, and on-demand content for Leland Plus. But most importantly today is the focus on one-on-one coaching. With working with coaches helps thousands of people through Leland break into top schools, top career opportunities, especially in product management. We have a huge focus on helping folks to succeed in the product management recruiting process, and it works. We have help folks land offers at all of the top tech firms, even in just the last few months. And
Wow.
and why work with a coach? I'm sure you'll glean a little bit of this from the panel today, but our coaches tend to be a little bit humble, so I'm going to be the one here to come out and hype them up and brag a little bit. Working with a coach is by far the best competitive advantage that you could have in landing a product management role. I can't say enough about having a coach in your corner, somebody who's gone through the process that can get you not only help with interviews and the difficult aspects of product design interviews and strategy and execution technical interviews, but also even at the high level, which firms am I a fit for and how should I apply, when should I apply, who should I be networking with, and actually getting some network and connection through that coach. Every aspect of the product management application recruiting process is lifted by a coach. So I would recommend that
Like, really?
Uh,
You're gonna
and
fucking
again,
noob
you'll
tube
see
me?
more of that here in this panel.
Pure skill. Oh my god.
It's so powerful to learn from them. So first, just to kick it off, wanted to get a sense from each of you here in the panel.
Died at B. What are you guys
How did you
doing?
land your role in product management? Would love to start with you, Matt, and we'll kind of go backward. Matt, Billy, and Anthony. Would love to hear each of you about your journey.
Yeah, I would say mine's pretty straightforward and required a lot of just the typical hard work, preparation, studying. As a senior at UC Berkeley, I had done a bunch of internships, and I did PM, I did software engineering.
Where am I missing here?
Coming into senior year, basically, is
Like,
product
perfect,
is a thing for me. I'm
perfect. Thank you.
terrible at coding, and so just kind of like prayed and prayed at a lot of the companies out there. There's not that many new grad roles out there, so I applied to all of them. Went through the typical process of getting back in the PM interview, decoding proper. I'm hearing that there's a lot of new stuff out there and a lot of like you can go chatbot and get the same information. So there's probably new tricks and tools available. But it was a really interesting emotional journey because by the time I got the Uber offer, I was one of the last people in my cohort. I had gotten rejected by basically every other APM program, so it is kind of a crapshoot. I wouldn't get discouraged if like you get rejected by your second choice and your third choice and your fourth choice, but your number one choice is still in process. That was the case for me. And I think what really helped me stand out the most was just like a deep sense of curiosity and passion. Like when I was taking an Uber from Berkeley to the Uber office, I was asking my Uber driver all these questions. I had physical paper and pen, and I was writing down notes. And actually, in my most important interview with like the most senior PM at the company, I brought up something I observed during my Uber ride on the day of the interview. And I don't know if that made or break it, but it definitely was a moment
Like,
of connection. And
folks,
I brought
are
up
you
something
seeing
that they were actually thinking about at the company. So yeah, got the Uber role. It was a no-brainer to take it. And yeah.
Amazing. Thanks so much for sharing that. And I love the anecdote about, writing that down, talking to the driver there. I think that's so powerful. I mean, if we could all apply across lots of people. Thanks so much for sharing. Billy, would love to hear about your process as well.
Yeah, sure. I kind of already shared a little bit about my transition experience. But my path to PM is quite, I would say, not straightforward. But it all started with understanding myself. I always curious. I love solving problems. I love working with teams. So that got me to consulting. That got me to agency. And I think it's really exposed to product, being that part of the and then I realized I really think to be kind of problem. So my favorite class is the Stanford, and this is so it's a design thinking school. So I took a lot of classes there where I really practiced my user empathy and kind of understanding user needs from these mundane tasks, everyday activities. So that's when I think I realized my passion for art and I wanted to play control. So that's kind of self-discovery journey. More on the technical side, and of course, I realized it's a really hard function to person to. So I really empathize with a lot of people It's hard, and I tried, and I just couldn't do it. Also partly because I'm international, so I need visa sponsorship. So I actually went back. So on a more tactical route, I went back to consulting, got my visa, and then transitioned to MM and Meta. And really in Meta, that's where I really tried to leverage every single opportunity that I could to get my hands dirty with PM. So as PMM, I would volunteer to write product release for the team. I would really become a product expert very quickly, and I would be the go-to person. And then I even carved out time to do a PM hack to prove my PM chops. Right, so eventually I made the transition, but it's definitely not easy. So happy to talk more about how to be prepared and always looking for these opportunities when you prepare for the transition.
Amazing. Love to hear that. And it's so neat that you kind of pushed your way into PM. It wasn't just the cold apply. You really took steps to get to actually break yourself in. I love to hear that. Anthony would also love to hear about your process.
Sure. So I think my path is not too dissimilar from Billy's. So I studied business in undergrad, and then I went to management consulting similarly because I liked solving problems. Very quickly then pivoted to tech because I was curious about, I wanted to see more of the impact of the problems I was solving as opposed to being in an advisory capacity. And so I joined Lyft, where I joined in kind of a business operations school. So kind of like an internal consultant. And that's when I actually started working or being exposed to product. And I remember one of my first projects was working with one of the PMs to figure out how we can lower passenger cancellation rates at Lyft. And that was a really cool project, and I was like, wow, by being a PM is even pretty interesting. So I moved to our growth team, and started working closely with one of our PMs on the go-to-market.
Worst shit ever made.
Basic products. And that's kind of when I was like, okay, I might want to think about making this pivot to PM. But I think at the time there were platforms like Leland where it was really easy to get kind of coaching or advice on how to make that pivot. And I also just wasn't sure if product was the right fit for me. And so as you do when you're unsure of next steps in your career, you go to business school. And so I went to Wharton, and that's where I really explored product. Did an internship at Apple and had a really amazing experience there. And that kind of solidified this is a career that I really want to pursue full time. So in terms of landing my full-time game, similar to what Matt said, you kind of just spray everywhere and see what sticks, especially for that first full-time PM gig. And I was fortunate to get into the rotational PM program. And so that's how I kind of made my pivot in. And yeah, I think one thing that I think was really important for me landing that Meta RPM role is being able to show how much the mission matters to you, and at Meta, right? It's connecting people, and being able to articulate why that mission is important to you, but also what you need to do. And I think that's important whenever you're joining a company, but particularly right? I think there's an oversupply of candidates who are interested in the gig.
Cool.
And so being able to articulate what's a unique value add perspective or set of skills you can bring to the table, I think is really important. And I think at Meta, for me, it was my perspective in bringing different communities together. I think really resonated with the folks that I interviewed with. And so I think that's just a tip overall to think about. It's when you're applying to places, really think deeply about what unique value add can you add to the business.
Amazing. I love that. That mission first or value first recruiting approach. That's so powerful. And great insight.
Sprint.
So jumping forward, of course, as we've all highlighted here, PM roles so competitive. It's and especially in the landscape today, really difficult to land a role, especially at top tech firms. How can I wanted to ask Billy? I'm sure you're competing against many other management consultants, and then put the same question to you, Anthony. How can applicants differentiate themselves? Does it have to be an MBA? What other folks take if that's not?
Yeah, sure. No, you definitely don't need an MBA to be a good PM here. I think that you do know is that intrinsic curiosity. I think these are some. I think there are some table stakes qualities that you need to be a really good PM. I'm gonna leave those out because I think schools can just be based on those anyway. So coming back to the question, right? How do you differentiate yourself among all the other competition? I have a few tips that I always share with others. Number one, is really highlight your adjacent product experience and skills, and find opportunities to get to these opportunities, or to get to the PM, to get to the PM. You don't need to be a PM. All you need is just you need to have good product thinking. You need to have the opportunity to build something, to validate the idea. So in my experience, right, like I started as a PMM, but then I really did not find myself to the role of PMM. I mean, so I would go deep in the user and then build the requirements out, and then I had to roll my own PRD.
Yeah.
And then I would spend so much time like testing our product inside out to know the user flow by heart and identify all the different improvement areas and brought back to our product team. And then I would do the research to know all the competitors out there. So back then I was working on the ads product. So I really ran campaigns out of my own budgets on YouTube, on Google, on Twitter, and that's how I became a subject matter expert on the team. And now everybody knew that, oh, if you have any questions about a competitive product, a competitive platform, go to Billy. He's your person. So I kind of gradually and slowly built that reputation as a product person, even though I didn't have that title, right, working as a team. And then as I did more of these, the opportunities just came. So that's one. Two is also be very intentional about what you build and what you can do. Right, so I did, like I mentioned earlier, I did this for the foundation product team and pitch myself to them. Basically, it's like I want to volunteer 20%, in this case, 50% of my time for a quarter. Do you have a project for me? And I did. I did that, and I used that in my PM interviews. When I actually finally made it. So I think in a nutshell, it's really the right skill and I found creatively opportunities that we can to get in the world. Nothing beats chicken pox.
Well, so yeah, based on those points, I think a few things I wanted to drill down into that. One, I think Billy had mentioned product thinking, and I think it'd be good to kind of level set what do we mean by product thinking there, and especially for folks who maybe in PM from that background. Ultimately, what PMs are doing is they're solving user problems, right? And they're guiding their teams and aligning them on what the most effective solution is to solve that problem, right? And so I think like the steps that entails is like first identifying like what are the problems that users have, right? Why does that matter, right? And then once you prioritize one of those problems, it's like how can you solve it, right? And being able to be creative to fix them and come up with an array of solutions. And then it's articulating what are the trade-offs of each of these different solutions, right? And once you do that, then it's prioritizing. You think this is the right solution to solve that problem. I think having come from consulting, there isn't this like lens through which folks view everything as a user problem, but as a PM, that is where you should think through business strategy overall, but at the end of the day, what is user problem? And so I think the stories you tell in your interviews always have to come back to what is that user problem? So I think that's like very, very important for folks who are transitioning to PM to be able to frame the stories that they tell. I think a couple of other things. One is I think I already mentioned this, right? But it's like connecting to kind of like what is the mission of the company and what is your but I think going a little bit deeper than that, like what is your unique spike or what are your unique strengths as like a person and how can that augment you? And so for me, having worked in operations and growth at Lyft before becoming a PM, I had a really good operation to. And so when it came to like product cases, I was able to show like through that I could think through ideas at a very granular level and think about operational challenges and complexities that would result with each of these solutions, right? And so being able to showcase that and say like, hey, like I can bring this really unique skill set to the table, I think was really important for me to differentiate myself.
Never saw those guys.
And so I think for folks who are transitioning to PM, like really think deeply about what are the unique skills and experiences you bring to the table, and how can you highlight those in your interviews.
Amazing. Yeah, I love both of those points that you made. I think, especially as it relates to the self-reflection that it takes to determine where you spike and then how to spin that in a narrative. I think that working with an expert coach is so valuable to kind of get that outside perspective of, okay, like where am I? Where how do I leverage my turn that into this is how it relates to product. So love that. And Matt, wanted to put this one to you. What do you think are the most important skills for an aspiring PM to learn?
So I'm gonna take this question maybe a little bit differently, which is like what I think the most important skills are to learn right now. I think it's important to just understand the context that we're in with all the AI stuff. Even outside AI, like what the government's doing, right? Like things are kind of wild right now, and so in an era like this, the essence of what I'm going to say is like being adaptable and being really good at learning. And so more specifically, what do I mean by that? Like, I think everyone that wants to be an aspiring PM or wants to be a PM should be using the latest tools. Like there was this question of like, what's your favorite product? And I remember what I prepped, 5 years ago. And if I was going to answer that question now, it would probably be a bunch of AI products like Perplexity and Claude and Windsurf and stuff like that. And so I think regardless of whether you're trying to do an AI company or not, I think these tools are really useful to be able to learn. And also I think what Billy was saying is like create stuff and build stuff. Right before this fall, I'm like trying to build a website for just my own curiosity in Windsurf. And it's free. Like you don't need to spend any money. You can just use all these tools. And maybe another point that I'm trying to make is like, in a conventional job search, you look at what jobs are out there, and you sort of just like apply, and maybe you try to get your way into through a referral, or you like add people on LinkedIn and cold message them and try to get on a call. There's a lot of opportunities out there that don't make it onto job boards. And companies that are growing really fast will always be looking to bring on people, whether there's a role with a title, with a job description for you, or if you can just help them with a project. And so I would say being able to position yourself as someone who is up to date on what's out there, is able to learn really quickly, and can demonstrate a track record of solving problems, whether they're like in a job function or if you're just doing it for personal creative reasons. I think a lot of that is what I think is most important that I'm trying to help and learning myself too.
Amazing. Well, I know after the channel, I'm gonna go check out Windsurf and try and build something there. I love that. I really appreciate, especially in turbulent times, as you highlighted, that push to learn, not just to develop any specific skill set, which of course are all important, but absolutely adaptability is so. And that dovetails right into there's so much that goes into getting interviews. And Anthony, wanting to get your take first, how do you think about when you're working with clients, helping folks prepare for and nail the interviews?
Yeah, for sure. So I think like usually for product interviews, right, there's going to be there's usually a template of what the interviews will consist of, right? So usually there's going to be like a product sense type of interview, and then there's going to be execution and analytical thinking. So that's really around, if something is going wrong with your product or this metric is moving in this way, company, and it's really meant to measure like how you can break down problems and solve them. And then there's usually going to be a behavioral component, which is like, how do you lead teams? How do you collaborate with people, right? So I think first is just understanding what each of those interviews are and what they're screening for, right? And so I think maybe I'll just focus on one of them, which is like product sense, right? So I think like this is a really important skill for any like PM to have. And essentially, like what a product sense interview will be is like, you know, build a healthcare product for Facebook, let's say, and that's just the prompt. And the interview will then be quiet. The interviewer will be quiet and we'll wait for you to kind of drive the discussion forward. And that can be really daunting. And so I think what is really important to see as an interviewer is candidates not being afraid of that ambiguity, but showcasing curiosity that Billy and Matt have both spoken to, right? So asking clarifying questions, right, around what are the constraints to this problem. I think next is showing some reasonable structure in terms of how you approach it, like are we able to approach problems in a methodical way? But I say reasonable because I think candidates can sometimes over-anchor on the structure and then become too rigid. And that also becomes a problem because when the interviewer starts pushing them or maybe even corrects them, that's when things can kind of go off the rails. And so it's being able to show that you can think methodically, and again, starting from like, what is the mission of the company? Who are the users we care about? What is the problem that we want to solve for them? What are those solutions? And how do we tackle them, right? So I think just going through practice of those, especially with a coach, right? And for even other peers who are going through the interview process, is really, really helpful. I'd say one exercise
Yep.
really
Out of ammo.
like on my own as I was prepping was I would like, and actually now can be even easier with ChatGPT, right? It's just to like generate a random product sense prompt and drill through that. Like maybe every day go through 3 or 4 of them and just think through how you would approach that case and write it down. And I used to do that, right? And that helped me become very comfortable with thinking methodically about how to approach those things. I'd say one other thing, and this maybe
I keep expecting to be able to knock these little trees down, but tougher than they look.
And I think it's also maybe related to the previous question. But I think one thing that's really important to showcase in these interviews is your ability to ruthlessly prioritize. And so what that means is being able to show pros and cons or trade-offs of a bunch of different options, and then being able to show conviction in, I think we should do X because of Y and Z reasons. And so being able to just be comfortable with wrestling with trade-offs and then being very clear with what your criteria is for why you're choosing option A or
What a
B
grenade.
is really,
Oh, wow, that is beautiful teamwork. Let's fucking
And I
go.
think, again, just practicing with other folks, working with a coach, I think is a really effective way to do that.
Absolutely. And there's no way to replace the reps. You cannot you cannot
I
get
love
by
it. Love it. Everybody and their mothers here.
just looking at questions. You have to deliver answers. And so, to your point, working with a coach and also recording yourself, working with peers, all of that so critical ultimately to success.
Whoa. Giggles.
So
What are you doing?
Just to pause for a quick intro to our PM group camp. I'm excited to share this partly because I'm actually the PM of the PM boot camp. I created this boot camp last year, and we've seen so much success with it. We if you haven't yet, go ahead and sign up for the giveaway here. We're giving out a free suit to this boot camp. It's bit.ly/PM.
Really? That's how you're doing?
But just to share a
Who
little
put that
bit
there?
about it, it's all designed to help you make progress on this path toward landing an offer. So we not only have sessions on every single one of the aspects of the interview that we talk about.
You guys are incredible.
Product sense or product design interview, execution interviews, take-home assignments, all of that. But we also bring together a community of folks to run mock interviews together, which is so powerful. Getting those reps is so critical. And
Yeah.
it's really
Great team I had.
not only to see folks get
Great
together
game,
and,
lads.
and run those interviews, but actually dive in and succeed. I've gotten now from past cohorts, so many people have reached out. I had a good student from one of our cohorts just reach out and share that they got a Coinbase offer. One who got
Wow.
an offer to Capital One PM, and I think all of
Coinbase and
it
Capital
was,
One. Good for them.
they're able to have this structured path to work through all of the things they need to know to succeed in the PM application process. And so we include a lot, of course, beyond the sessions, like I mentioned, the peer sessions. We have drills, assignments, homework, all of the things you'd expect in a course. But we also include a one-on-one coaching session with awesome coaches like those on the panel today. So super valuable.
Oh, I had a
and
great game. Holy crap.
everyone
5th
tonight,
place. I'm surprised.
even if you don't win the giveaway, we're also giving a $700 discount off the boot camp. So super
Oh,
great way to
$750
get in.
off?
Because the
What
boot
a
camp
deal,
starts in
huh?
June, we have an early bird, this $700 discount. That does expire tonight. But one of you again will win the boot camp for free, and everyone else will get that discount. So go ahead and sign up for that.
Oh,
If
let's
you
go.
haven't yet, it's an amazing program, and we'd love to have you. But without further ado, we'd love to dive back into our panel. Our next question is: what are some ways that aspiring PMs can gain relevant experience to build out their resume? I've already seen in the chat, so many folks. My resume is blank. And it's just a vicious cycle, right? I don't have any experience, so I can't get any, a good experience. How do we overcome that? How do we break that chicken and the egg problem?
Potato
Billy,
grip?
would love to get your thoughts.
Yeah, sure. So like I said, I think
Okay.
earlier,
Do not
find all the
eat.
opportunities to gain the relevant experience and really showcase that in your resume and during the interview. And then I think one thing that I've also noticed because of the help of AI, like it really reduces the barrier to entry. And more increasingly, I think in companies and recruiters, they start asking for sort of a portfolio. So I think that's another way that you can think about. Like even if you don't have any skill on the job, you can always have time, right, to build some side projects and then bring your portfolio to the table in these interviews and show them, hey, these are the problems that I'm solving for. What kind of problems? Like what kind of right now with these products? What kind of customer discovery and validation that I've done? So I think there are so many different ways that you can do this. Really, the sky's the limit.
I spotted an enemy
Amazing.
helicopter.
Yeah, absolutely. I think all of you have showcased with your kind of personal journey to PM the value of going out, building something, making something happen, and kind of pushing it. It's not always necessarily permanent. Anthony, would love to get your thoughts on this one. What are some common mistakes that candidates make during the recruiting process? How can they be mapping it to follow?
Sure. So I think two come to mind. One is like not grounding themselves in the company and like what the company cares deeply about. So I mentioned, right, I think that was one of the reasons that differentiated me when I was working with Meta. I cared deeply about the mission. I was able to articulate why it mattered to me and how I can make Meta better at serving its users by building a community. And so I think that's number one, is being able to draw like a personal connection to the mission of whichever company that you're interviewing for. I think is like really important, especially if you're going to be a steward for their products. I think number two is, and I mentioned this before, there's this tendency to
Whoa.
kind of like rote things like frameworks, especially for consultants like myself. That was a challenge that I had initially when I was kind of prepping to become a PM. And so it's almost like just applying the same framework whenever you enter like a product sense interview. And I think why that came to me at this stage is it basically means that if you're thrown off that framework, or if the interviewer kind of like pushes you in a different way, it can be really hard for folks to recover from that, right? If they're not following a very specific linear process. And so I think what that means is it's really important to show flexibility in that you're using a framework as a tool to achieve a certain goal, but it's not the only way to achieve that goal. And so I think that's a really, I think, important element of these interviews, and oftentimes, sometimes you'll get like a really far left like question that maybe is one that your framework may
What am I
not
stuck
apply
on?
to, right? In which case you're like, oh my god, I don't know what to do. And so I think it's really important to approach those interviews as like more of a conversation and more of like a push and pull, as opposed to let me just present to you this full narrative of what I think. And so I think that's like an art, but again, it is really important to practice and build that muscle for, and you do that.
Where the? I love that, dude. I love that so
As
much.
well as
Oh
other
my
folks in
god.
your network who are going through the process. Yeah, and I think like lastly, right? It's like showcasing product thinking, which again is like it's very fundamental, but you'll be surprised how many people kind of miss the fundamentals in the interviews, which is like, what is the user problem you're solving for, and then how are you solving it, right? That should always be front and center in any product interview you're
Barely
participating
even
in.
see this guy.
I love the frameworks in particular. I think that so often it's people get into interviews and think, oh, what's the framework to answer this question? The go-to should be, how do I answer this question? And then what's a framework to structure that thought? I think that frameworks are training wheels that need to be taken off. And I think it's so powerful to work with the coach to learn those frameworks and get the training wheels, but then also have someone to guide you in taking those off. Because that is such a critical part of the process that people miss. What are your thoughts on the comments you work with? What common mistakes do you see?
Yeah, I resonate with what Anthony was saying. I have a couple other things to add. So I think Anthony and I both shared, like, when we got our entry into a product, it was kind of the spray and pray method. I would definitely not recommend that now. Because the job market is tighter, because there's all these AI startups that kind of mass apply. And I talked to all my friends that are on the hiring end looking at people applying, they're getting like hundreds of applications per role. There's just no way to spray and pray anymore, and frankly, it didn't really work that well, at least for me when I was doing that method. I just didn't know better. So instead, what would I recommend? I would recommend spending a lot
What's
more
that little
time
icon? Is that a tank?
on really being
We get a tank if we
thoughtful and
control it?
intentional about the work you want to do. Like, it sounds kind of obvious, but you're going to be able to do a better job if you actually enjoy the work, if you're passionate about it and care about it. But I want to acknowledge that can be hard if you are in a situation where you really hate your current job, or if you're not in a job right now and you're not making income. So there can be all these factors that are driving a sense of urgency, potentially difficult emotions that you're processing, that can come with the feeling of scarcity. There's only, job gets posted and there's 100 people that apply within the first hour, that sort of thing. But I would really encourage everyone to not look at what jobs are out there and think about what you're actually interested in before going to see what's out there. And then a more tactical tip is looking to see who you know. And if you are younger and earlier on, then there are books out there, like one of them is called The Third Door, and there's cold email resources, and there's ways to demonstrate that you're interested in. I basically respond to every cold message I get. So even though you might think no one's going to respond to you, I think people will if you're thoughtful about it and put a little bit of polish in it. And then to address the question, a couple questions in the chat. In terms of standing out in the call, everyone's going to ask you, tell me about yourself. Tell me about your journey. And that's often a question where you talk about your background. What I find is less explicitly asked is why this company? Why do you want to join here? And I encourage people to put that into that question. You almost answer both questions when you're talking about yourself. Because there's so many people out there that want to get this job. If you can show that you've gone above and beyond to use the product, go on the website, find feedback, ways to improve the product, and you really understand what the company is doing, rather than just like what Anthony was saying of like practicing the frameworks over and over again, then I think that's gonna really stand out.
Absolutely. And Anthony, to kick it back to you for follow-on.
Yeah, I actually really want to like plus one Matt's point around like going after opportunity that genuinely interests you. I think like one pitfall that I also see, it could be trying to tell the interviewer what you think they want to hear. I think authenticity is really, really, and your job at the end of the day is being able to influence people, and the best way to influence people and to lead is through sheer authenticity.
Oh, that'll be easy for me.
Plus one to that point,
I'm an authentic bitch on this stream. You guys hear it firsthand.
tougher job market, but when you showcase like that deep curiosity for the space and you show that you're excited by it, that really comes through there.
Pick it up.
And so I think the flip side of that is if you're applying for a lot of roles and you're it's a bit difficult and you're facing a lot of rejections, like that's okay. It only takes one role. So yeah.
I love that. And such a hopeful, note to there are so many mistakes you can make. There's lots of, you might screw up one application or get to the final round and not get the offer with one, but it only takes one. That's write that on your mirror. I'm gonna land 1 PM on so that should go. Billy, anything to add here on the mistakes that you've seen folks make in the PM recruiting process?
Huge plus one to everything that both Anthony and Matt have said. I think one thing that I also want to emphasize here is that really we should treat each job as its own job and go deep.
Are you
whenever
fucking
we
kidding
can.
me?
So I've seen a lot of candidates, they show up, they not really knowing the company or the product space, and then treat it just like a generic product interview. That's an instant no. Because especially in this competitive market, the only way for you to stand out is to show that you genuinely care about the problem space, the company, the mission, like Anthony mentioned, and then you've done your homework, right? I remember showing up for an interview where I really spent like days of research, and I actually went out and interviewed those users using the product, and then I provided like a product suggestion to that interview. Eventually, I got the job. But that's kind of the steps that I see a lot of interviews missing, and also this goes against this
Oh, that looks
approach
pretty cool.
where you just try to cast a wider net and see whatever fish that you can catch. So I always advise my my coaches to first understand what you want, what kind of company, what kind of roles, what kind of products, and then you actually be more focused, because that way you can only spend because you only have that much time to spend. So only that way you can be more focused in preparing for those interviews.
Yeah, and focus is so cool. We're coming up on
Whoa!
here and want to give you ample
We're
chance to give some sage advice. Wanted to jump ahead to our final tip, final advice to audience members. Let's go ahead and maybe start with Anthony and then Billy and then Matt. Would love to get from each of you your advice for folks looking to break into PM.
Yeah, for sure. So I think, right, pivoting into product is certainly not easy right now. And I'd say that having started my career consulting, we've been moving to working in a team with a lot of people who came from kind of the business world and then transitioning to tech.
Reload, man. Fucking
I
about before.
was surrounded by a lot of people who were actually also interested in products. And I think the point I want to convey is that it may take time to make that pivot, right? And some people have a more direct path. Some people have maybe more of a meandering or circular path, right? There's not one way to is under PM. But what I will say is that for everybody that I worked with several years ago, like, who wanted to make that pivot, they've all been successful in that pivot, right? And so I think like grit is really important in the PM kind of recruiting process. And you have to have a lot of resilience if you will get a lot of no's.
Like,
And I think you'll be surprised, even folks like who may not seem like, that they would be getting a lot of no's involved. And so I think like that's just something that you're going to have to, I think, be comfortable with, is like facing a lot of rejection. But I think like that persistence is going to be like really, really key. So I think that would be like my main, I think, point of advice for folks who are just starting to think about making it happen.
That sucks.
To succeed in this competitive environment, especially today. So persistence. So Billy, what about you?
Yeah, well, yes, grit and resilience is super important. I would actually reframe this to say that it's gonna be a process. You might have done better. And then personally for me, actually preparing for the transition to PM, like to become a PM, like all these readings and practicing and mock interviews, I actually think that process made me a better PM at the end of the day. So I would also encourage you all to be patient and enjoy the ride, and really treat this also as a learning opportunity. Even if you don't land a role very quickly in PM, or maybe eventually you decide that you don't want to be a PM anymore, this process actually will help you become better at whatever job that you do. So just enjoy the ride.
really? You have that angle on?
And if I can share one
Sure.
additional piece of advice here, is that also know why you want to go. I've also talked to a lot of folks, and for some of them, I actually talked out of it, because I think PM is a tiny title in Silicon Valley in Texas, and people think that PMs actually get all the power and glory, but in fact, there's so many myths about being a PM. And while it's a fun job, I would still, highly recommend this job. But it's not for everyone. So I would really encourage
It's a
you
bit of a
before you
letdown.
start, look deeper into yourself and understand what you enjoy doing as a person, what are your strengths, what you get energy.
I don't understand this fucking name. I don't fucking see anybody. What the fuck is going
Make
on?
sure that PM is the right function and feel for you.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Knowing your why, I think, is also key to that first part. Exploring the journey, as you mentioned. If you know, why you're excited about product management and being having that as a motivator, it makes a huge difference. And that, last but not least, what is your final advice?
Oh, there's a huge letdown.
Yeah, I don't have too much difference, but it really resonates with what Bill was saying. This job search,
Absolutely.
there's a huge element of uncertainty. It could take a month, it could take 6 months, it could take a year. One of the key differentiations on whether you'll end up with a role is if you can actually be patient with it. And like one of the key factors in being patient with it is if you can actually enjoy the process and if you actually enjoy learning about it. There's certain questions in the PM prep that are kind of like rote and kind of, maybe not fun, like how many golf balls can fit in an airplane or those types of things. But if you don't enjoy thinking about your favorite products, like I would encourage you to probe deeper into, is that actually something you want? Do you want to be thinking about this like for the rest of your life, or not the rest of your life, but like every day? So definitely encourage people to think deeper on like what's not, because I think there is a shiny object. And so you should almost go through the process of the anti-self for yourself. And then the last thing is almost like a complementary point, which is if not product, then there might be other things that are very adjacent to that. Things that are more like product.
Wow, the gun
than
actually killed
your
Pats right
role,
there.
which might be software engineering or data analytics. There's a bunch of new roles being spun up at these AI companies. And so like even just getting out of this default assumption of like, okay, every team has to have an engineer, 1 PM, 4 to 6, 4 to 8 engineers, 1 data scientist. Like that is no longer the case going forward, especially at early stage startups. They're really mixing it up. And so I would view it less as like a search for a product manager role and more for a search for a role that you are really going to get a lot out of. And like it might lead you to going freelance. It might lead you to starting your own thing. It might lead you to something completely different than what you once thought or once at the beginning what you wanted. But yeah, if you just follow your curiosity, if you stay attuned to how much you're enjoying it, and if you work hard and just be patient, I think you'll end up where you are, where you want to be, regardless of whether it's like the role, the PM role that you're looking at right now that's on a job board.
So powerful. And thanks so much all for sharing this expertise. There's obviously so much here, and I know all of your one-on-one clients get really deep with you on and much more in terms of prep and networking and all of the aspects of the project. But I really appreciate you giving us the high level, bird's eye view of all of this. Just briefly to announce the giveaway winner, gentlemen, please everyone, the giveaway winner is Omar Hayes. Omar, so excited to have you in our product management recruiting bootcamp, and everyone else would love to have you as well. Again, take advantage of that. We'll be sending out a discount code that's good for tonight to get a $700 exclusive discount because you were here at and we highly encourage you, again, to work one-on-one with our incredible panelists. Anthony, Billy, and Matt, all of them are fantastic. Take a moment and go ahead, even if you're not actually doing it, I want everyone to at least pretend to do it. Scan this QR code right now. Pull out your phone, take a second, pick one or more of your favorite panelists, scan that QR, because getting a 15-minute intro call for free with one of these folks is absolutely such a powerful way to start your journey into product management. Or if you're already preparing for the interviews, take that next step. Chat with them, talk about hey, what would it look like for us to work together, and what kind of things would we avoid doing. Getting that one-on-one call, a 15-minute intro call with one of these panelists will help you kind of level set. Oh, hey, this is what the value of working with a coach will be. I think that you'll learn so much as you connect them. So please take a minute and sign up for an intro call with these fantastic coaches. Just wanted to again thank everyone for being here. So glad to be here for this session. We'll be sending out the recording to everyone who signed up for that giveaway. Again, super excited to have had you here. For those who are listening to the recording, glad that you were able to join us remotely. And again, thanks so much for this session. Let's all go and crack that interview process and break it at the end. Thanks, everybody.
All right, later.
Thanks, everyone.
Recording
All right, thanks, Leland. Well, hopefully that'll help me one day to become a product manager. Or you, if you're watching this and you are curious. Game audio was, I think, 80. Oh, they have 2 helicopters now? What the heck? How do they have 2? stupid fucking this design is stupid shit.
I spotted an enemy jet. Attack this objective. I got eyes on a hostile soldier. Here's your med kit. Pick it up. I got eyes on an enemy soldier. You'll save my life. Attack this objective. I spotted an enemy vehicle. Enemy soldier spotted. There's your med kit. Go get it. We got a man down. Here's your med kit. I need you to attack this objective. get it. Here's your meds. Pick it up. Here's your meds. Go get it. Spotted a Here's your medkit. Get him out now.
Yeah, how this guy's okay. That's cool.
I spotted an enemy helicopter. Fire it!
First, good lord. I did not know I was first. That's amazing.
I need you to defend this objective.
With this gun, I'm somehow first. That's
I
amazing.
need you to defend this objective. I'll take you out. Defend this objective. I need you to attack this objective. Defend this objective.
Oh, great. Now we'll have the edge.
I need you to attack this objective. Spotted a hostile soldier. I spotted a hostile soldier.
Cool. I need a little bit more than first aid, bud. I need the gift of life, which you gave me and I didn't do anything with. Because that guy was already looking at me. Is it just me, or is this match lasting too long? How far that will go?
Spotted a sniper.
Very. Losers. Fighter jets this whole time. Fate of Fools. You know what? Fuck it. Wanted to do the animation on him, but obviously it didn't work. Stupid railing. Who puts that stupid crap there? Can you just leave me alone for just a minute? Give me 40. Yeah, there we go.
There's your med kit. Pick it up. I got eyes on a hostile jet. Enemy jet spotted. Attack this objective. There's your med kit. Pick it up.
Yeah. I don't get this strafing, man. I really don't get it. I really don't.
Hostile soldier spotted.
Out there. I don't know who benefits from like all these stupid rocks just in the way that make the drive more bumpy. It seems really dumb to me. Boy, if that wasn't Battlefield 4, I just literally drive right over him. That was funny. What's this? Rorschach MK1? Yeah, whatever. Okay. Vehicle hit 15. Wow. Now that is the power of the Rorschach. Holy crap, where's this thing been all my life? Wow. Great game, lads. Yep, let's go ahead and see where I was on that scoreboard. Oh, look at all that XP. Holy crap. I'm incredible. Laser sight, ergo grip, muzzle brake, carbine metal. $31 ribbons. Holy hell. And 29,000 extra points from my double XP. 54 and 26 with 22,461 score. Folks, you're watching one of the greatest Battlefield 4 live streams currently active. 12 years later after this game was released anyway. Or 11 and a half or whatever, but... I mean, I'm like 11 years late to the party, but it's whatever. I'm enjoying myself. And if you are, feel free to follow the channel or subscribe. I'll be right back in just a moment here. Let's see what's next here. Gulf of Oman. Alright, I'll be right back. Hey, I'm back. Just a moment. Let's see here. Engineer usually works. Armored vehicle. Hostile in that armored vehicle, lads. Thank you. This guy outside. Hit. Yep. Where did this guy come from? This guy? Again? Cool. Wow. Can't hit anything. Like, my crosshair's on him, right? These bullets just aren't connecting. I don't know what it is. What the heck was that weird bubble? That was so weird. I can't see a bloody thing. Whoa! No idea what killed me. That's cool. Yep. Long live Battlefield 4, folks. Greatest game ever made. Pretty sure that's a tank dead ahead. See if I can go up the same line. Yeah. You're cool. Fuck. That's the stupidest shit I've ever seen in my life.
I need you to attack this objective. Clear my line of fire! Gotta defend this objective. All right. I need you to attack this objective.
Whoa!
I need you to attack this objective. Enemy soldier spotted.
Does anybody understand what just happened? Really couldn't touch that guy. That's awful.
I spotted a hostile vehicle. We gotta take that anti-tank. Attack this objective. Spotted an enemy soldier. I spotted an enemy soldier.
Not see this guy? Where did this guy come from? Okay. Like, is this guy, what is he, 25 and 3? Is he just gonna camp in there? What's he gonna do? Cool. Your own teammates couldn't run you over. Shit, no, I died right there. Vehicle disabled, huh? There we go. Sweaty neck rolls. So cool.
I need you to attack this objective.
Vault that without taking damage? Battlefield 1, the barbed wire actually hurts you a little bit. For like 1 or 2 damage. Thanks.
I got eyes on an enemy soldier.
like a minute or two of my life running. And I can't see anybody, and then I get sniped from the corner. Okay, I guess.
I need a medic! Hey, look over there! We got an anti-tank team set up! I'm here! I need a medic! I'll light them up! I'm pinned down! I can't move!
Wait, does he have active protection right now? Able disabled. Oh, and we got him, right? Wow, that was awesome. I hit the turret and I disabled him. Yep, always aim for that turret, lads. It does extra damage.
I'm hurt! I'm hurt! I need a medic! Light armor spotted.
25. 26. Can't quite hit me, huh, lad? There we go. Hit the turret that time. Yep, sorry about that, sweaty neck rolls. But looks like I've got your number this game. Dude. How can I connect? We're gonna have to guided missile that guy. TV missile. Can't do a whole lot here.
Defend this objective! Thanks, good job!
Wow. Vehicles over here.
Attack this objective! I spotted a hostile tank! I spotted an enemy sniper!
Thank you.
I spotted an enemy soldier.
I don't know where these guys are coming from. They're just falling out of the sky here.
Objective Golf 8.
Got enemy personnel in the area. Medic! I need ammo. Anyone got ammo?
One cavalry.
Yeah, I need some ammo.
Bruh. 90, huh? Fail. Whoa! I think as long as we hold these objectives over here, we're good to go.
I need a medic here. Attack this objective. Enemy soldier spotted. Hostile soldier spotted. They spotted a hostile soldier.
It's so dumb, dude. This guy was right next to me. Hilarious fucking pilot. Hilarious driving these stupid cars. Who the hell is shooting me? Like, really? Who's gonna target me all day? Love these guys, dude. Love these guys. I'm the only player of all 32 that I'm getting targeted here. That's awesome. Kind of refreshing that to not see that guy in a BTR or LAV or whatever. Wants that sweaty neckrolls guy. How do we all die, man?
Spotted a hostile soldier.
I hit that kid. Vehicle disabled. Nobody bothered repairing this thing? What a great team I have. Holy shit. Great game, lads. Alright guys, it's gonna be this game and then I've gotta go. So let's see what I've got here. MG4. MT49 is up next. Oh. This gun was in COD 4, right? Anybody remember? Pretty sure it was. But it was called the M249 SAW back then. I don't know what the SAW stands for, but... Oh, the iron sights are the same as in COD 4. That's nice. Oh, they can secure C from that building? Help us out on C. if anybody's able. Wait, what? Am I not squad leader? Why am I not squad leader? I was squad leader last game. What happened?
Here's your ammo. Go get it. I'm hurt. I need a medic. Hey, come get this. I got your ammo. Pick it up.
Ammo.
Here's your ammo. Pick it up.
Charlie. Using Alpha. How did that guy die? Just die by a random explosion. What the hell was that?
There's your ammo. Go get it.
Come on, guys. Oh, I could have just gone the other way. You see this guy?
Here's your ammo. Pick it up.
Support the tank, lads. Support the tank, move up. Like, where's my freaking team? Really? It's just me up there? 28v28?
Here's your ammo.
Word. Revive that guy. Oh, rip. Else on Alpha. You rifling shit. I'm around the corner and everything. Good fucking lord. Is that an enemy tank? Oh my god. Tank on Alpha. What's he doing?
I got eyes on a hostile tank. Smoke's out! Smoke's out! Need a medic right now!
Guys, man, I don't get them at all. Like, I have no laser sight on my gun. I have no idea how you know I'm there.
I'm being lit up!
This strikes me as unfair how I die sometimes. Are you? Like, bro, I love that. I love that. Okay, that's cool. That's cool.
Here's a med kit for you!
2000's best gun in the game. Worst gun in Modern Warfare 2, best gun in Battlefield 4. No doubt about it.
Defend this
Defend Charlie. Alright, we got rid of that guy. That's great.
No, smoke! Grab that med kit! There's your ammo, go get it!
Yep. Two enemy tanks on Charlie here.
Spotted a hostile tank!
Anybody want to switch to engineer and take out those tanks? I mean, I would, but I haven't played support in a while. It's been a while.
Gotta defend this objective! There's your ammo, pick it up! I got me pinned! Here's your ammo, pick it up! Smoke's out! Defend this objective!
can't see anything because of these stupid fucking... Whose stupid fucking idea was it to just throw trees on the ground in front of you? Like, honestly. This is my competition.
Here's your ammo. Go get it. Medic!
I didn't mean to hit fire that guy. It just takes forever to mount this gun, finally. Like, the F-2000 and FAMAS are the best guns in this game. It's like, the faster the fire rate of your gun, the better it is. I've definitely noticed that. Seems like little else actually matters. Tank right there. FAMAS and F-2000 are the best guns. Holy crap. Stuff to do. I don't feel like playing this. Team's getting completely destroyed. I'm not engineer, somebody else should hop in that.
Enemy tank spotted.
Let's see the squad composition. Let's see if I'll be forced to play engineer yet again. I would love to know what these guys are playing. So we got assault, 2 assaults, engineer, right where it's due to Mikatu. Nobody else on the team seemingly wants to play engineer. I don't know why. Perfectly fine class. Somebody go. Never saw these guys. Everybody has my number this game. Yeah, it's just not my game. Ready to go here. Sorry for the low energy, but I got stuff to do. Okay, apparently half their team is at B right now. Like, I don't like that shit at all. I don't know why I can't beat this Noah kid. He's the worst fucking player I've ever seen, and he's killed me 3 times to my 1. Like, there's no reason for him to survive that right there. I'm point blank hip firing prone. An LMG in his direction. No reason for me to have lost that. Why it took like 90 bullets to kill the guy, but okay. I guess.
I need you to defend this objective. I got eyes on an enemy tank.
Get out of the way. Where am I missing here? Entire enemy team is indeed.
Spotted a hostile.
Where do I mimic?
Spotted a hostile tank. I spotted a hostile soldier. Throwing smoke.
Surprised this tank hasn't spotted me yet.
Up and down, yeah. I got eyes on an enemy soldier. I spotted an enemy soldier.
I miss him. any of these bullets are missing. On my screen, I'm completely destroying this guy. MP apps upgrade? No idea what that is. Now, it's like the building, I don't know, it's like the game, that building would have collapsed by now, but okay.
Attack this objective.
Here you go.
Currently.
Attack this objective.
This is how we win the game. Capture E. Capture E and spawn trap them.
Here's your ammo. Go get it. I'm hurt. I need a medic. Watch out, it's a grenade! You got me nailed down over here!
Wow, nice job. Just hold everything until we win.
Spotted a hostile soldier.
Me target on the tanks.
That guy just say what I think he said.
Here's your ammo. Hey, I need a medic.
Tank dead ahead in front of E.
There's your ammo. Here's your ammo. Pick it up.
I'm trying to throw a smoke grenade. You can't see me, like, on my keyboard, but I'm mashing the G key. I don't know why I can't throw anything. You're so cool, dude. You're so cool. Let's keep holding those objectives, lads. Like, I want to go prone here. Let's see, I think it's a bit stupid.
Here's your ammo. Pick it up. I spotted a hostile tank.
Hey, you're gonna play, huh? Okay. Bloody shit, rocket. Like, hit the wall instead of the player, the tank.
Here's the ammo. Pick it up.
Not doing jack. Not helping anybody with anything over here. We lost D. Yep, I suck. I think I'm good, but I'm not. What the hell? Where? God help me, these fuckers. Where do they come from? Board on Delta. Too many hostiles. Oh, we won. Great. 200 something to 600 something. We came back and won the game. Courtesy of yours truly, folks. Wouldn't have done that without my skill and leadership. You are currently watching one of the greatest Battlefield 4 streams of all time. Consider yourselves lucky. Yep. Epic comeback. Yep, just a routine Tuesday for me. Great work, lads. Alright, that's gonna be it for me. Thank you for watching, everybody. As like I said, greatest Battlefield 4 stream of all time. Follow me on Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, wherever you get your live streams. Join the community Discord if you want to give me tips on how to improve, or if you yourself are a Twitch streamer and you think you have the greatest Battlefield 4 stream of all time, just feel free to trash talk me in there. But that's going to be close to the end right now. So, I have to go, and have a good one, guys.